Hey, good day, folks. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I welcome you guys to Bismarck, North Dakota. Now, for those of you that may not realize it, Bismarck is the state capital of North Dakota. It is located in the mid-southern region of the state, and it is also the second largest city next to Fargo in the state of North Dakota. Now, Bismarck has been the state capital since 1889 with a current population of 73,622 people. And the population has grown at 20.2% rate as of the 2020 census. And Bismarck has basically been a growing city since the 1890 census. And the growth for every census year has always been in the double digits. In fact, Bismarck ranks the seventh fastest growing small city by Forbes magazine. And Bismarck is located on the east bank of the Missouri River, to be more specific of its locations. And if you want to live here in Bismarck, I mean, it's North Dakota, so it should go without saying that the climate here is going to be super cold. And when I say cold, I'm talking the temperatures during the winter will get down into the negatives. And I'm talking it could get down into the negative 20s, negative 30s, even the negative 40s. And if it's windy, your wind chill will be in the negative 70s to the negative 80s. And I am not talking Celsius, I'm talking Fahrenheit. Now, of course, the summertime here is going to be relatively mild, fairly pleasant summers. However, short-lived. And you'll get about a couple hundred days of sunlight per year on average here in Bismarck. So in a nutshell, that describes the climate up here. So if you can handle the cold weather and you think you would enjoy nice mild summer temperatures, then let's continue. So for whatever reason, whatever's bringing you here to Bismarck, let's see, where was I at? If you move here to Bismarck and you don't currently have a job here, or you're thinking about moving here and you're trying to figure out what type of an economy is up here when you come up here, let me help you with that real quick. I mean, basically the largest economy here in Bismarck is going to be you got your choice of healthcare, retail, and production. Those are going to be some of your largest economies here in Bismarck. And of course, if you have your CDL, there's going to be a fair amount of opportunities up here for you as well. So you don't have to have any sophisticated college degree to live up here. I mean, there are blue collar jobs up here that do pay fairly well. Now, for those of you that are into sports, now granted, the Bismarck is not going to have the biggest sports scene, but basically for sports, you got the Bismarck Bucks, which is a professional indoor football team, and they've been in the city since 2017. And for those of you that care about the history of sports here in Bismarck, here are some teams that used to be here in Bismarck that have moved elsewhere. Let's start with the Dakota Rattlers. The Dakota Rattlers is a professional baseball team that moved to Minot after several seasons here in Bismarck. So basically they moved a little further west into Minot. And then you got the Dakota Wizards. I mean, they were here in Bismarck from 1995 to 2012. And then in 2012, now the Dakota Wizards are a basketball team, just for those of you that don't realize that. And in 2012, they were brought out by the Golden State Warriors in California. So after they were brought out by the Golden State Warriors, they moved to Santa Cruz, California. Then you had the Bismarck Blaze and the Bismarck Rough Riders, which were two indoor football teams that left Bismarck shortly after the teams formed. Where they moved to, I don't know. But all I know is they're not currently here in Bismarck. And if you're looking for a good college to go to, whether it be for yourself or for those of you that are moving here with a family and you got some teenagers that are getting ready to graduate high school, or maybe they may have recently graduated high school and now you're looking around for a good place for them to go learn and get educated. I mean, you got the University of Mary. You got the Bismarck State University. You got the United Tribes Tech College, which is a 2-year college. So if you're not really into academics so much and you prefer to learn like maybe a trade, such as being an electrician, then you got the Tech College. You also got the and then as far as it goes, you also got the Sanford Health. I mean, Sanford Health, they do offer a bachelor's degree in nursing. So you got that option for those of you that want to get into the medical field. And as far as it goes for the city's infrastructure, you got two hospitals here in Bismarck. You got the Alexius Medical Center, which is a 285-bed facility. You also got the Sanford Health. You got Sanford Health, which is a 238-bed facility. And as far as your transportation system is concerned, you got the Bismarck Transit. That's the name of the local bus system here in Bismarck. They've been up and going since May of 2004. And basically, the bus system runs routes throughout Bismarck and Mandan, which I got Mandan coming up probably after this video, so stay tuned for that. And I'm talking about Mandan, North Dakota, which is just right across the river from Bismarck here. And that bus system runs Monday through Saturday. And they also have a paratransit service system for senior citizens and people with disabilities. And you got the Bismarck Municipal Airport, which I've been there a few times during the time I've worked out in the oil field in North Dakota. I've been out there like 2 or 3 times if I can remember clearly. Now, granted, this was a few years ago, but when I was there, the airport was a fairly nice airport. You know, not too crowded, not too many people, not anything crazy. Now, honestly, at that time, I will say I liked the airport over in Dickinson, North Dakota, a little better than Bismarck. But, you know, both the airports were decent. People there were nice. And it wasn't too crowded. Now, as far as the roads that service Bismarck, the main one is going to be Interstate 94, which, if you're familiar with this region of the country, Interstate 94 travels east and west. And you also got you also got U.S. Route 83 that travels through Bismarck. And as far as entertainment is concerned, now Bismarck is not exactly the biggest entertainment hub by any means of the imagination, but that should be of no surprise for you people. I mean, after all, this is North Dakota, and North Dakota is not known for entertainment like that. But but if you want to move here to Bismarck and you're looking for things to do, you got the Dakota Zoo, the Missouri River. You can go there and you can go kayaking, I think. And if you got a canoe, you can go canoeing. And I think they permit boating there. You also got the North Dakota Heritage Center and State Museum if you want to learn a little bit of history about North Dakota. You got the Bismarck Mandan Convention and Visitor Bureau, which if you want to learn some specific, if you want to know some specific information about the greater Bismarck area, you can go there and check them out. You also got the North Dakota Getaway to Science. It's a science museum, basically. You got the McDowell Dam Nature Park. And you also got several other parks that are located throughout the Bismarck area. Then you got the Super Slide Amusement Park. I mean, it's basically a water park. I mean, it's a wonderful place to take your kids to cool off during the summer and burn off some of that bottled in energy. And you got the Buck Stop Junction, which the Buck Stop Junction, Bismarck does hold an annual apple festival in the fall at the Buck Stop Junction. So if you're still thinking about moving to Bismarck and now you're trying to figure out, okay, I want to move to Bismarck, I like it so far, everything looks good. Now obviously there's way more to the video than what you guys have seen so far, so please don't make your decision based off of being only 12 minutes into the video. I mean, this video is a little over an hour, but I make it like that because I want you guys to get a healthy feel of these cities that I tour. Now granted, I'm not sitting here and claiming to know everything about these places because I certainly don't. And I'm not even going to claim that I've driven through all parts of town because, again, I know I haven't. So anyhow, let's keep on going. Oh, and another thing, never mind. So let's keep on going. So if you still want to live here in Bismarck, here are some very important numbers, at least for most of you. Now the median rent prices here are going to go from $750 to $1,650 a month. Your median home price, in my opinion, is a little steep. In fact, it's way too steep for me. Your median home price is at $319,000. You heard me correctly, $319,000. That's the median price for a home. Now on the low end, if you want to get anything that is decent meaning it's not a fixer-upper, your lot size is at least 7,000 square feet, and the house itself is at least 1,000 square feet. If you're looking for something like that here in Bismarck, on the low end, you can expect to pay at least $230,000. Now for $230,000, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, you are not gonna get a damn thing special. So for those of you that might be watching this video and maybe you're from Indiana and you're crying about how expensive it is to live in Fort Wayne, you might want to go ahead and get your head out of the sand and you might want to go ahead and shift your mind back into the realities of what's going on throughout the country right now in terms of housing prices. Now, I get it. You got places like Indiana to where, yes, housing prices did go up substantially, and I'm not gonna lie, there's certain cities to where I think the housing prices are way too expensive, and they need to come way down, such as Anderson. However, you come here to North Dakota, you come here to Bismarck, for $230,000, I'm gonna just give you a clue of what you're gonna get. Now later on in this video, you're gonna see what you're gonna get for 230 grand. Basically, for 230 grand, you're gonna be located in the older part of the city. Your house, the size of your home is not gonna be much larger than 1,000 square feet. And your lot size is going to be anywhere from 6,000 to, at best, maybe 7,500 square feet. So that's basically what you can expect to buy. That's basically what $230,000 will buy you here in Bismarck. It's not going to buy you anything special at all. That's where if I were to buy a house in Fort Wayne, I mean, if I do some careful shopping and exercise a little bit of patience, there's houses in Fort Wayne that I could buy to where the square footage would be at least 1,500 square feet, and I could find something that has an upwards of an acre of land right in the city limits of Fort Wayne. But if you look for that or anything even remotely close to that here in Bismarck, forget it. You're not going to find it. Now, there are houses cheaper than even $230,000. In fact, there's houses that are cheaper than $200,000 here in Bismarck. Now, for many of those, in fact, I looked at a house here in Bismarck priced at $190,000. And guess what you get for $190,000? Basically, you'll get some super small 700 square foot home that needs work. That will be located in the, I'll just say, poor section of town. Basically, that's what you get here in Bismarck. So if you come here to Bismarck thinking that you're going to buy something nice for a couple $100 grand, I'm here to let you know right now, you're not. For a couple $100 grand, what you'll be able to purchase will most likely be a fixer-upper with a small lot. The square footage is going to be on the small side. Like when I say small, I'm talking under 1,000 square feet. So you've been warned. So if you move here to Bismarck and you want to purchase a home, my suggestion to you would be to have at least $230,000 to drop on a house, whether it be cash money or whether it be the amount of money that you may qualify for through your mortgage lending institution. So please, if you're looking to buy here in Bismarck, don't come up here with $150,000 looking to buy anything. I'm gonna let you know right now, you ain't gonna find much of nothing. Unless you're willing to get out the hammer, get out your toolbox, and do plenty of renovations. And to my knowledge, banks typically don't loan money out to borrowers for homes that are for fixer-uppers. To my knowledge, they don't. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. But from the people that I spoke to, my realtor included, most banks are not going to loan money out to people to purchase a fixer-upper. So if you're coming up here to Bismarck, bear that in mind. Now, another thing which I would suggest is if you come up here to Bismarck, or for that matter anywhere in North Dakota, if you never lived in a climate like what's up here, I would also suggest that you come up here and you pay rent and you live up here for at least one winter season. That way you'll have a better idea of whether you want to stay up here or not. Because right now, like, I recorded this video in July. Now during July and during June, July, and August, the weather up here is fairly nice. Not too much rain. The temperatures are warm, but not too warm, which a lot of people like when they come up here, myself included. But come around late September, temperatures get extremely cold. Like, the temperature could be in the upper 30s, lower 40s, but with the wind chill, it'll feel like 25. So come even the early fall and definitely into the winter months, it's going to get, like I told you guys earlier, it's going to get really cold up here. Your winters up here are going to be harsh, and they're going to be long. Now, I would say winters up here are 7 to 8 months long. So, like I said, winters up here are long. So, my suggestion would be to, if you're going to move up here, stay up here and pay rent for at least the first year. That way you get a feel of how it's going to be like being up here during the winter. And if you can take it, then congratulations. Move up to the next level and buy if you desire. But if you find that you can't handle the long winters and you get depressed, or you just don't like cold weather, then this is not going to be the place for you. Now, I would say if you're coming from a close by state like Minnesota, South Dakota, or Montana, or even Wisconsin, and you come up here, I would say if you come from those states, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. Because the climate up here is going to be very similar to the states that I just named. So, okay, now that we got that out of the way. Now, when it comes to the crime here in Bismarck, crime here is fairly low. Your violent crime is below national average. Your property crime is only at 9% above national average. Now, for those of you that have your mind somewhere in some fantasy utopia, that are looking for a place that's crime free, which you'll never find. Spoiler alert. But for those of you that live in this imaginary utopia in your mind, that are looking to live somewhere where there's no crime whatsoever, let me educate you real quick. Now, although the property crime has been reported at 9% above national average here in Bismarck, 9% ain't shit. Now, again, I'm going to use the state where I currently reside in as a reference here in Alabama. Now, let me think here. Let me think of a city that's about the same size or close to the same size as Bismarck that's here in Alabama. Let's use the city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now, I like Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I think Tuscaloosa is a nice place to live. I think it's a nice city. And in fact, let me go on let me look up Tuscaloosa real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and look up the crime data for Tuscaloosa, because Tuscaloosa is the closest city that has around the same population as Bismarck. So give me a second here. I'm gonna look up Tuscaloosa. All right, folks. the crime in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which actually Tuscaloosa is a little bigger than Bismarck, but not by much. I mean, Tuscaloosa, Alabama has another. I mean, Tuscaloosa, Alabama is 27,000 people larger than Bismarck, but it was the closest city in size that I could find that's comparable to Bismarck. But the crime rate in Tuscaloosa, I mean, the property crime rate in Tuscaloosa is 69% above national average. So yeah, that 9% above national average that a few of you will probably freak out over, take my word, it ain't shit. So I say all this to say that the crime in Bismarck is extremely low. Now, as far as it goes for the racial demographics, you got 89% white, 2% black, 3.7% Native American, 2.3% Hispanic, and 1% Asian. And I did talk about climate just a couple of minutes ago, but I'm going to give you guys some more specific numbers here. Now, on average, Bismarck gets 50.5 inches of snow a year. They get 19 inches of rain per year, which is well below the national average of 38 inches a year. And they get an average of 200 days of sunlight a year, which is 5 days below the national average of sunlight. But I will. So yeah. So I forgot what I was going to say. So that covers it for the climate. Now for those of you that live in Bismarck, you're proud of your city, and you know what? If you like your city, you're not gonna like what I'm getting ready to say, but I'm gonna say it because on this channel I try to keep it as real as possible. Now, me personally, I was not impressed with Bismarck. I mean, for starters, a lot of the restaurants here in Bismarck, the food in my opinion sucks. I mean, like a lot of times, a lot of the restaurants that are here in Bismarck, I went to I want to say 3 of them. And all the restaurants I went to, I found the food to be bland. And then there's one restaurant that I went to when I first got here to Bismarck. And typically when I go to a restaurant, I try to look around to make sure that the place is clean before I sit down and put an order in. But on this day that I came to Bismarck, I was so hungry. I was sick and tired of driving, and I was starving. I haven't had anything to eat all day ever since breakfast on that day. So when I came to Bismarck, I saw a place that served breakfast, and that's my favorite meal is breakfast. So I decided to go in, sit down. Now, I'm not going to name any places here, but this particular place I went to grab a bite to eat, I felt the waitress was incredibly rude. And on top of that, she smelled like cigarette smoke. And then finally, when she sat me down, she didn't ask me right away what I wanted to drink. She didn't come until maybe 5 minutes later. And then finally, I told her I want some coffee and some water. So, okay. I thought she's going to get me my water and coffee in a more timely manner. But, so what happens is she gets me my coffee right away, which I appreciated. But then I'm thinking, okay, she'll come back with my water. Well, 5 minutes went by. She's over chit-chatting, running her mouth, talking to whoever the hell she's talking to. It wasn't even a co-worker. So I finally, raised my voice a little bit, and I asked her, hey man, can I get some water? So a couple minutes after that, I finally get my water. And then she came up And then she came back 5 minutes later and asked me if I was ready to order. I told her I was ready to order. I told her what I wanted to order. And then as I was waiting for my order, I looked around. The floors were dirty. And like on the back of the wall where they have their little bar, you could tell that no one bothered to clean the backdrop where where they have the bar. So it looked like, as they were getting people their drinks, they splashed some drinks on the wall, and no one bothered to do any cleaning. So finally I got my food, and I was starving. So I just went ahead and ate my meal. Oh, the whole time I was eating, she didn't bother to come to me and ask me if I needed any more water. She didn't bother to ask me if I needed my coffee topped off. Nothing. Didn't say a word. And then all of a sudden, when I get done eating, I ask her for the bill. So she gives me the bill. And then when I get ready to walk out the door, all of a sudden she wants to be all nice and friendly and shit. It's like in that about some shit. It's like you couldn't say a word to me the whole time I was sitting there in front of you practically. You was running off at the mouth talking to your people or whatever. You were talking to your friends. So, now you won't be all nice to me? And I'm thinking to myself, no, it's too late for that. I mean, did I give her a tip? I gave her a little tip. I ain't give her nothing big. I mean, typically, if I get good customer service, I might tip anywhere from 20 to 30%. Now, if I feel that the waitress or waiter really goes out their way, I might tip beyond 30%. But for this woman, I tipped her 10%. It's like, nah, man, your service sucked. I didn't tell her that, but I should have. So I tipped her 10% because I don't believe in going to a restaurant and not leaving a tip. I try to, exercise at least some level of class. So yeah, I would say in a nutshell, when it comes to the food here in Bismarck, I would say the food here for the most part is lousy. It's bland. They don't spice it up right. And some of these places got, their customer service can take a little bit of work. And I would say in general, I did not feel welcomed into this city. I felt the whole time I was here. I mean, I realized I'm not from Bismarck. I'm not even from North Dakota. I get it. I got it. But when I was here in Bismarck visiting, I did not feel at all that I was welcomed. I felt very much like an outsider. I mean, in my opinion, people here were not friendly. I mean, I'm not going to say they were mean, but I'm just going to say they were not friendly. They were not that welcoming. And when I got towards some of the neighborhoods that were closer to town, like on the, I'll just say poor section of, like on some of the lower income sections of the city, I'm not going to, I'm not going to say the hood, because in my opinion, Bismarck doesn't really have a hood. But I'll just say in some of the lower income sections of Bismarck, I had people come up to me, ask me for money. They were asking me for money and things of that nature. So there is a little bit of begging that goes on in Bismarck, like there is in many other cities. People that were walking around that were homeless. Now, one of the homeless people appeared to be on drugs. So you got a little bit of that going on as well here in Bismarck. But I will say, as far as it goes for your neighborhoods throughout the city, now, I would say even when you go to the lower price section of the city, I'm not going to call that the hood, because in my opinion, some of the characteristics of a typical hood you're not going to find here in Bismarck. Now, again, I'm not from Bismarck. Now, maybe someone who's from Bismarck, they might be able to point out the hood. But, what I think of the hood to be, I did not see those type of dynamics here in Bismarck. And let's see, and I will be putting out another video which will let me get my notes here, and I will be putting out another video that will show you guys the north side of Bismarck, and it will also show you some of Mandan, North Dakota as well. And I will also be putting out a video of Mandan, North Dakota, which Mandan is right across the river from Bismarck. So stay tuned for those two videos. And also on my next video, you will also see more of downtown. So on my second video of Bismarck, you will see you will see more downtown, and you will also see the south side of the city. On this video, the video you guys are watching right now, I gotta make a small correction. On this video, what you saw, or what you will see the north side of the city. You'll see some of downtown, and you'll see some of Mandan. So you'll see, in fact, you guys are getting ready to see some of Mandan right now as we speak, because I'm crossing the Missouri River right now. So right across the river, in a minute or two, I'll be in the city of Mandan, which we'll see a little bit of that. So let's see. So on my next video that I'll be putting out, you'll see downtown, and you'll see the south side of Bismarck. And then I'll have another video of Mandan. It'll be a video of Mandan all by itself. Alright folks, that's all I got for my commentary. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of the video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give my video a thumbs up, do all that good stuff. Please and thank you. Stay blessed, and I'll see you on the next one.